Hi everyone. The first idea from the course that was highly influential to me was developing an understanding of just how confusing and arbitrary certain letter sounds are in the English language, and what I can do to enhance my students' learning and ease this burden. Knowing that Spanish, by comparison, has far more easily decodable and transparent words that follow more logical patterns, leaves me more aware of just how important cognantes are in helping students to more easily expand their vocabulary in their second language by pointing out English words that share a common root word with their Spanish equivalents. In continuing to focus on the idea of how confusing and complicated learning English can be, in my future classroom I would aim to hang many easily accessible posters up with vocabulary words and graphic organizers that not only have the words written out with their translations, but also highlight and break up their speech patterns while highlighting any similarities in the structure and grammar of any two given words, using color coding techniques while also providing visual cues alongside the words on the poster. I would also have sentences written out that show how we can realistically use these words in big sentences that add an extra layer of context for students. Beyond this, I will remain well aware of the 5 stages of language acquisition and that each student requires slightly differentiated instruction to reasonably match their level of development. I will also remain keenly aware of the word order differences that arise in sentence structure between English and other languages. To this, I will provide many written examples that translate sentences between 2 languages and color code and/or underline how to most easily identify and correctly order these patterns in each language. The second idea from the course that was highly influential to me is understanding that L1 acquisition often closely mirrors L2 acquisition. Knowing this, I realize it is unreasonable to expect a student to learn a second language at the rate of their peers if that student's level of reading, writing, and/or speaking in their first language is markedly behind their peers. To this, I know that extra attention and focus must be provided to these students at a fundamental level in the language they are most proficient in to develop a solid base before I can reasonably expect them to mirror this progress in the acquisition of a second language. As someone who is minoring in special education, I believe ESL knowledge will support me in better understanding my individual students' backgrounds and specific learning needs. To this, when a student is suspected of having a disability, I can provide better insights to my team as to which teaching methods and strategies will be most effective in developing their reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills in 1 or more languages. As for my professional goals, the first is to effectively utilize technology in my teaching. This could include having students occasionally record video and audio and interacting with digital phonics software specifically designed for English language learners. Another professional goal is to incorporate as many multilingual as well as Spanish language texts into my classroom that highlight and celebrate the diverse cultural backgrounds of my students. Having my students see parts of themselves in the characters within various books should increase their engagement with the text and their pride in their identities as individuals and community members. In conclusion, I thoroughly enjoyed this course. It opened my eyes to many things I'd never known or considered. And going forward, I aim to push myself to learn more Spanish than I currently know so I can be a more valuable asset and resource to my future ELL students, coworkers, and administrators. Thanks for listening.